Welcome to the latest video from my YouTube channel, Pro Wrestling Society. As you saw in the link before, in the intro, that is our link for our Facebook page. Make sure to check it out. As you can see, I got a little bit of a more formal attire today. I had a friend of mine who was razzing me a little bit about, how, he wears a suit in his videos and I wear, Oilers shirts. So there you go. So today's video will be all about the big controversy coming out of the UFC, George St. Pierre versus Johnny Hendricks. Now, I don't know how many of you guys go on our Facebook, but I rewatched the UFC's latest main event and did a round-by-round breakdown based on, all the criteria that they score the fights on, and still found it in favor of Johnny Hendricks, 48 to 47. So for you not real MMA fans, that's 3 rounds to 2. And I gave GSP rounds 2 and 3, and I gave Hendricks rounds 1, 4, and 5. And yeah, the more shocking news that came out after the fight was that GSP was temporarily retiring from MMA. Now, it's not the most trusted source of information, but TMZ Sports is reporting that the reason why George St. Pierre is retiring is because he knocked up a woman who he now wants to have an abortion, and his father's dying. Now, I can see why maybe he might want to retire. Imagine the headlines, UFC champion tries to force woman into abortion. GSP is a role model for basically every Frenchman and a lot of Canada, and he has a lot of States fans too. So, something like that, maybe he wanted to deal with privately. I'm not 100% sold that that's why. It's fucking TMZ, it's not MMA Junkie or something like that. So until I see it from a reputable source, I'm gonna call bullshit on it and wait until it's substantiated by someone that actually matters. But back to the fight, Johnny Hendricks has been referring to himself as the champion, which will be a good marketing ploy for his next fight. He can be like, I'm the uncrowned welterweight champion, kind of like YouTube guy in here calls himself the uncrowned prince of pro wrestling. Check out his videos as well, BLS. I think you can see him in my subscriptions. Check him out. Johnny Hendricks, some may forget, he had a lot of these decisions go his way on his way up here. Everyone remembers his great knockouts, but he got lucky in some decisions as well. So, the coin flips both ways. He's had breaks given via decision, and arguably on Saturday night, he was screwed by a decision. I don't want to call it a robbery because it was a close fight. It's just, I think Tony Weeks and Sal D'Amato were the 2 judges, and they scored the octagon control, the more takedowns, the way GSP would always cut off the cage. They scored that higher than Hendrix's damage, which, that's their prerogative. I think the UFC needs to don't hold events in Nevada, but don't hold events where you think it could go to decision in Nevada. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has proven itself to be I don't want to say corrupt, because I don't think they're fixing fights. I just think they're stupid. Some of the ref decisions they've made are idiotic. Some of the judging decisions are horrific. And who knows, maybe it is a bit of a fix. I don't know if people can be that stupid, but I've been wrong before. Um, so yeah, I think that this will be the last time that we see a big time fight for the title in Nevada that isn't like John Jones versus someone or one of the lighter weights, because they're more likely to end a fight than have it go to decision, usually anyway. So when it comes to that, I think we'll maybe see more fights coming into the central part of the states. Like Nevada, for the longest time, was the mecca for UFC fights. All the biggest fights in history happened in Nevada. The Ultimate Fighter 1 finale, Nevada. A lot of the Chuck Liddell fights were in Nevada because he preferred to fight there. So it'll be a big change when it comes to UFC, but I think it'll be the best for them in the long run. All right, so just now I was trying to find some questions that some of the fans have been asking, and I was hoping to get to today. So I do have one for you right now by Ross Briffett. I hope I pronounced that right. He's actually one of our new admins on the PWS Facebook. He says, what has been your biggest markout moment in any sport? Biggest markout moment. I'll kind of do like a sport by sport basis. I have a lot. So for wrestling, Chris Benoit winning the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 20. Lost my shit. I was screaming up and down. It was great. In hockey, markout moment for sure was when the Oilers made their run to the Stanley Cup Finals in the 2000s there. I live right by the Coliseum where they play, and it was just like a party week. People were running down the streets. I made a Stanley Cup out of this whole popcorn thing and cereal bowl, and people were drinking out of it, and it was great. So for hockey, that'd be it. Football, definitely when Elway finally won his first Super Bowl. I had been a Broncos fan for a long time, and for me that was really cool to finally see someone prove that he isn't Dan Marino and actually win one. For the UFC, there's been so many. I would have to say biggest markout moment in the UFC. I feel like I'm going to be forgetting someone because I'm going way back, but when GSP first beat Matt Hughes, I thought that was really great, and I was excited because it finally showed that he had made his mark in the MMA community, and then of course got knocked the fuck out the next fight against Matt Serra, which was another one of my favorite moments. I got one more question queued up here from Dave Sullivan. Do you think Ben Roethlisberger will be traded this offseason? No. I think the Steelers coach is going to be fired, obviously. There'll be some whole changes in that regard. But I don't think that they'll trade Big Ben, primarily because who wants Big Ben? Who's going to pay what the Steelers need for Ben? So I say no. Will the Broncos go all the way, or they blow it like last season? Everyone knows. Huge Broncos fan. I would like to think that they're going to make it all the way this year, barring injury. I think the team is much more stacked and balanced than in previous season. So yes, I think that I will finally get my Super Bowl celebration and can rub it in my father-in-law's face. Do you think Green Bay will still have a chance to win the division, or at least make the playoffs now that Rodgers is hurt? Not a chance. Rodgers is as Reggie Jackson would say, the straw that turns the drink. They don't have anything else at quarterback they can compare. Not even that. they have a lot of other injuries that have really decimated that team. So in my opinion, the Packers are done. That'll be it for today's video. I ran a little bit longer than I was planning, but I'm out of practice. My first video in a week. So comment. Help me improve. What do you want to see? And make sure you check us out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/pro-wrestling-scoops-forums. The name hasn't changed. It is still PWS Pro Wrestling Society. So make sure you check it out. Thank you.